So the problem with entrepreneurship as an academic, I'll tell you a little bit about it, is that nobody cares, right? And you have to get used to that it is part of your life where absolutely nobody cares. And it has to be so part of your life, you are able to just simply say, you know what? It's just who I am. And if you don't like it, you can stick it. And once you get to that moment where that is just your thing, then you'll do something that's entrepreneurial. I want you to look around. This is like such a key thing. I want you to look around and look at the people that are doing something that is entrepreneurial, right? So this is doing something that is different than, I'm just going to say something that is different than the norm, right? Or you have a conversation with somebody that is different from the norm and they're doing something. So in my case, it's technological entrepreneurship. I'm trying to build the reciprocity platform, which is where you can create a non-rejectable research paper or grants or intellectual property. And anybody at any skill level can do that. And it'd be fun to actually do that. Right. So that's the basic gist of it. That's what it's all about. But I want you to start asking people, and you will see that the amount of compliance or coherence to social norms is extraordinarily high within the academic game, right? And the reason is that it's not rewarded. I'm just being very upfront about this. It's not a reflection of my own institution. It's not a reflection of any individual person. It's a reflection of the culture. It's a reflection of how things are actually valued, right? And what you're going to go through is you're going to do things that take up a god awful amount of time, right? You're going to be sitting there doing things that you're like, what the hell am I like? Why am I spending all this time, all this money? Like, a stupid amount, right? I'm not just saying just a little bit, a stupid amount. And then people will look at it and they will say, so what? Like literally, that's the response that you're gonna get. Or, oh, that's nice. Like that is the deep ingrained response that people get, that people have. And meanwhile, you spent all waking hours, that kind of stuff. It's like when you do a research paper too. So you get some sort of thing like this. Um, or people are like, meh, um, like you have blood, sweat, and tears, and then somebody reads it, and they're like, meh. But you have to get used to that, right? Like there is a huge amount of detachment. But I think it's a little different from the research papers because research papers are following the norm, right? Like there is some like you're doing the right thing. But if you're doing something that's entrepreneurial or something that is, it's kind of like you're not supposed to do it, right? Like that's the signal. That's a very strong signal. You get sort of slapped on your hands if you do it. Um, that is the strength. That is a key thing. So, and if you do a research paper, people are like, okay, I get it. That's what you're supposed to do. Here's a little bit of money. Get going. Right? Like there's definitely and what you have to get used to is ignoring any sort of judgment from others. Like it's a deep ingrained feeling of ignoring because ultimately the returns on social entrepreneurship, like people don't understand this. You do it often for the greater good, right? Like I don't think people understand that entrepreneurship in general is expensive. It often doesn't result in what people think. I'm not like you're not gonna be going home making all this money and you're like, oh, this, I'm like I'm there. I'm rich and loaded. I'm the king of the world or queen of the world, right? Like this sort of stupid logic that everybody thinks. Um, that's not what entrepreneurship is about. Like it's clearly not. We know the evidence is very strongly not for that, right? Like, that's not what it's about. It's about all sorts of other things, particularly helping out, either helping out your family, right? Like that's why people go cut grass or shovel snow, right? They're just helping out the family often. Um, it's, eh, you know, I like doing those things, but if you do those repeatedly for a lot and for all your weekends, it's grinding work, right? It's hard. And people don't do that. They're not like, I'm just gonna jump up and down and go do this, right? Like, it's not what they want to do if they have higher value added things. But then on the other side, if you're doing something like technological entrepreneurship or that has a bigger mission that is not as immediate, that's not in the now, it's far different, right? The motives, the ideals that you have are much more further in the distance, right? And you're not gonna make any money out of it. And I've met a few people that have done this as well. And the people that have done this and they have succeeded, they've been able to say F you to the world, like screw you, like just a deep rooted screw you. Um, and like when I say that, I very much have this like, curdling deep rooted, I'm not gonna listen to you because you don't know, right? Like, you don't care, you don't know. And then on the other side, you have this sort of broken response, right? Where people are truly broken. Um, and you're like, "Oh," because it's humiliating. It's, all of those things. Like, I'm serious. There's real good research on this. I'm serious about this. This is what's gonna happen. So you have to get to the point where you acknowledge other people and they don't matter. Like, you don't even really like, you walk past them, right? They're bringing you down, and you have to get to that point where you walk past them and you say, "Pfft, whatevs. Like, I don't care." Right? Like, that stuff's just BS anyways that you're paying attention to, right? And I think if you see the responses of very famous um entrepreneurs at this time, I do think you see that in them. I think that's part of the reason that we're seeing Deftones is because they had to deal with that, right? Like, if you look at a lot of the tech entrepreneurs today that are famous, they've had to deal with that. You have to just ignore it. People don't get it. They're so, like, they are just in the here and now, and so you have to be tone deaf to everybody, right? Like, you really do. So my point is, with all of this, is that if you're doing anything that's substantially important, and I know some of you actually listen to this and you're probably doing something that's important, don't lose faith, right? Like, really think that you're actually doing the right thing. And I want you to understand that we all go through this. Um, and even when things start working out or clicking or whatever, you're still going to have to face this. And it may take an awful long time. I've been doing the Reciprocity Project for 8 years now. It's probably going on 9. And I know, like, people think I'm insane. They think that I am, all of the above, like, foolish, yada yada yada. But you have to get to the moment where you don't care, you don't listen, you just keep going forward every day, and um, you love who you are, you practice that, right? Like, and it's a practice thing. It's practicing smiling and like smiling at in from the heart, not like superficial. Like, I do that all the time, right? This sort of superficial stuff, but practicing smiling in the heart is different, where you are still trying to map onto the wonder of the world when you're trying to do something that is different and unique. And I want you to understand that every day it's a little bit of not listening. And every day it's going and saying, I am doing the right thing today. And I love myself for doing that. And I'm going to smile in my heart. And if people can't accept it, they can't see it, and I'm going to walk past them. And as you practice this, and it's a practice skill, it's not something that happens overnight, that you will get better at it. It's still hard. I still many times I wake up or I kind of have this like flash feeling throughout the day, but of like, what the hell am I doing? And in most days, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna love myself for doing it. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day.